Good evening, friends. Pinotuni. Welcome to our online broadcast here from the London Mindfulness Meditation Center. As you may know by now, we have begun to go live again this rains retreat here at the London Mindfulness Meditation Center. And we take the opportunity to serve you with spiritual practice or religious observance, which includes daily worship, chanting, meditation, and continued short reflection. And our series will terminate or end with our Katina robe offering ceremony, which is scheduled for Saturday, 29th October. So we believe you'll be able to participate in that as well. So during the rains retreat, devotees have sponsored the Puja, enabling you to participate, as well as enabling the sponsors and devotees to accumulate merit, dedicate to their loved ones, or even bless their loved ones. So today the puja is generously sponsored by Mr. Padmadeva Somratna and Mrs. Pushpani Somratna, along with their daughter Chaitya, who are present at the Vihara and have come far away to make the offerings and are joining us in worship. So we take the opportunity to bless the family with good health and happiness. We also bless Chaitya, who is about to embark into her secondary education this September. So may she be blessed and may she excel in education and have a very bright future. And we also would like to bless beloved father of Padmadeva, Mr. Diamond Somratna, who passed away about 32 years ago. May he rejoice in this punya karma and make his sansaric life happy and peaceful, and eventually may he attain the blissful state of Nibbana through his righteous aspirated path. So with such intention, let us engage in worship. First of all, let us say Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa 3 times to observe precepts. Namaskar. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, Adinādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, Kāmesu micchācārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, Suramire majjapama dattana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. තිසරණේන සද්ධෙන් පංචශීලං ධම්මං සාධුකං සුරක්ඛිතං කତ୍වා අපමාදේන සම්පාදේ තබ්බං. එකට වන්දනා කරමු. Let us worship the Buddha together. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතු සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතු සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතු සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. ඉතිපිසෝ භගවා අරහං සම්මා සම්බුද්ධෝ විජ්ජාචරණ සම්පන්නෝ සුගතෝ ලෝකවිදු අනුත්තරෝ පුරිස ධම්මසාරතේ සත්තා දේව මනස්සානං බුද්ධෝ භගවාති. බුද්ධං ජීවිත පරියන්තං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි. ස්වාක්ඛාතෝ භගවතා ධම්මෝ සම්දිට්ඨිකෝ අකාලිකෝ ඒහි පස්සිකෝ ඕපනයිකෝ පච්චත්තං වේදිතබ්බෝ විඤ්ඤුහිති. ධම්මං ජීවිත පරියන්තං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි. සුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ ශාවක සංඝෝ උජුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ ශාවක සංඝෝ ඥායපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ ශාවක සංඝෝ සාමීචිපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ ශාවක සංඝෝ යදිදං චත්තාරි පුරිස යුගානි අට්ඨ පුරිස පුග්ගලා ඒස භගවතෝ ශාවක සංඝෝ ආහුනේයෝ පාහුනේයෝ දක්ඛේනේයෝ අංජලි කරණීයෝ අනුත්තරං පුඤ්ඤක්ඛතං ලෝකස්සාති. සංඝං ජීවිත පරියන්තං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි. ගහනසාරප්පදිත්තේන දීපේන තමදංසිනා තිලෝකදීපං සම්බුද්ධං පූජයාමි තමෝනුදං. වන්නගන්ධ ගුණෝපේතං ඒතං කුසුම සන්තතින් පූජයාමි මුනින්දස්ස සිරිපාද සරෝරුහේ. පූජේමි බුද්ධං කුසුමේන නේන පුඤ්ඤේන මේතේන ච හෝතු මොක්ඛං පුප්පං මිලායාති යථා ඉදම්මේ කායෝ තථායාති විනාශ භාවං. අධිවාසේතුනෝ බන්තේ පානීයං පරිකප්පිතං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පටිගන්හාතු උත්තම. Adhivasetu no bhante gilane paccayang imang anukampang upadaya patiganhatu uttame Adhivasetu no bhante besajjang parikappitang anukampang upadaya patiganhatu uttame Adhivasetu no bhante sabbang saddaya pujitang anukampang upadaya patiganhatu uttame Vandami cetiyang sabbang sabbetani supatititang saririka dhatu mahabodhing buddha rupang sakalang sada Yassa mule nisennove sabbari vijayang aka Patta sabbanyutang satta vandetang bodhipadapang Ime ete mahabodhi lokanatene pujita Aham pite namassami bodhi raja namattute Kayena vaca cittene pamadene maya katang Acayang kamami bante puri panye tathagata Kayena vaca cittene pamadene maya katang Acayang kamami dhamme sandittika kalika Kayena vaca cittene pamadene maya katang Acayang kamami sangha supatipanne anuttara Ettavataca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang Sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Ettavataca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Ettavataca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Idamme jnatinang hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo Idamme jnatinang hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo Idamme jnatinang hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo Imina punya kammene mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya Idamme punyang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu So now we are going to chant the Paritta Sutras to bless you with good health and happiness. May you and your loved ones stay blessed with good health. May you enjoy good health, and may your loved ones also enjoy good health. May all your righteous aspirations be fulfilled. And if you are dedicating the chanting to anyone else, please do share our link so that they also can listen to the chanting live here from the London Mindfulness Meditation Center. So we also bless our sponsors today, Mr. Padmadeva and Mrs. Pushpanya Somaratna and daughter Chaitya. And especially Chaitya is embarking on her secondary education this September, so we wish her every success. May she excel in education and have a very bright future. So with such righteous intention, we begin our chanting. The Ratana Sutta embodies the virtues of the triple gem. Every stanza ends with Etena Satchena Suati Hotu. May the recitation of the truth be conducive for your well-being, and they were uttered by the Buddha out of compassion. So those words are literally the words of the Buddha, and it was blessed during a time of difficulty in the city of Visala. So the virtues of the triple gem are embodied in the suttas, and may the truth be conducive for your well-being and happiness as well. So please listen to the chanting with great attention and respect. If you know the sutta, please do chant with us as well. Samanta Cakkavalesu Atra Gacchantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajassa Sunantu Sagga Mokkadang Paritta Savana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Paritta Savana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Paritta Dhamma Savana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Yani Dabhutani Samagatani Bhummani Vayani Vantalikhe Sabbeva Bhuta Sumana Bhavantu Atopi Sakkacca Sunantu Bhasitang Tasmahi Bhutani Sameta Sabbe Mettang Karota Manusiya Pajaya Divacharato Chaharanti Baling Tasmahine Rakkata Appamatta Yang kinci vittang idhava hurang va sagge suvayang ratanang panitang nano samang atti tathagatene idampi buddhe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Kayang viragang amatang panitang yadajjaga sakya muni samahito natena dhammena samatti kinci idampi dhamme ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Yang Buddha Settha Parivannai Sucing Samadhimanantarikanyamahu Samadhina Tena Samona Vijjati Idampi Dhamme Ratanang Panitang Etena Saccena Suvatti Hotu Ye puggala atta satang pasatta cattari etani yugani honti te dakkineya sugatassa savaka ete sudinnani mahappalani idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Ye suppayutta manasa dalhene nikamino gotama sasanam hi te pattipatta amatang vigaiha laddha muda nibbuting bunjamana idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu yatinda kilo pathaving sitosiya catubbhivate bhiya sampakampiyo tatupamang sappurisang vadami yo ariya saccani avecca passati idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu ye ariya saccani vibhavayanti gambhira panyena sudesitani kincapite honti busappamatta nate bhavang attamang adiyanti idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu sahavassa dassana sampadaya tayassu dhamma jahita bhavanti sakkaya ditti vicikiccitanca silabbetang vapiyadatti kinci චතුපායේ ච විප්පමුත්තු චචාබිතානානි අබබ්බෝකාතුං ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු කිංචාපිසෝ කම්මං කරෝති පාපකං කායේන වාචා උදචේතසාවා අභබ්බසෝ තස්ස පටිච්චාදාය අභබ්බතා දිට්ඨ පදස්ස වුත්තා ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු වනප්පගුම්බේ යතා පුස්සිතග්ගේ ගිම්හාන මාසේ පඨමස්මින් ගිම්හේ තතුපමං ධම්මවරං අදේසයි නිබ්බානගාමින් පරමං හිතාය ඉදම්පි බුද්ධේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු වරෝ වරඤ්ඤෝ වරදෝ වරාහරෝ අනුත්තරෝ ධම්මවරං අදේසයි ඉදම්පි බුද්ධේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු කීනං පුරාණං නවං නත්ති සම්භවං විරත්ත චිත්තා ආයතිකේ භවස්මින් තේකීන බීජා අවිරුල්හිච්ඡන්දා නිබ්බන්ති ධීරා යතහායං පදීපෝ ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යානීද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානිව අන්තලික්ඛේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං බුද්ධං නමස්සාම සුවත්ති හෝතු යානීද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානිව අන්තලික්ඛේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං තම්මං නමස්සාම සුවත්ති හෝතු යානීද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානිව අන්තලික්ඛේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං සංඝං නමස්සාම සුවත්ති හෝතු Etena sacca vajjena dukkha upasamentutte. Etena sacca vajjena paya upasamentutte. Etena sacca vajjena roga upasamentutte. Siridhiti mati tejo jaya siddhi mahiddhi mahagunang aparimita punyadikarassa sabbantaraya nivarana samattassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Dvatting samaha purisa lakkananubhavena asityanu vyanjana lakkananubhavena attuttara satamangala lakkananubhavena sabbannarang syanubhavena ketumalanubhavena dasaparamitanubhavena dasa upaparamittanubhavena dasa paramatta paramittanubhavena sila samadhi pannyanubhavena buddhanubhavena dhammanubhavena sanghanubhavena tejanubhavena idyanubhavena balanubhavena nyaya dhammanubhavena chaturasiti sahassa dhammakkandhanubhavena navalokuttara dhammanubhavena attangika magganubhavena atta samapatyanubhavena chalabhinyanubhavena metta karuna mudita upekkanubhavena sabba paramitanubhavena ratanattaya sarananubhavena Tuihang sabba roga soka upandava dukkha domanassu payasa vinassantu sabba sankappa tuihang samijjantu dīgāyuko hotu satavassa jīvena samangiko hotu sambada Akasa pambata vana bhumi tataka ganga mahasamudda arakkaka devata sada tumhe anurakkantu Sambha buddhanubhavena sabba dhammanubhavena sabba sanghanubhavena Buddha ratanang dhamma ratanang sangha ratanang tinnang ratananang anubhavena chaturasiti sahassa dhammakkandhanubhavena pitakattayanubhavena jina savakanubhavena sabbete roga sabbete bhaya sabbete antaraya sabbete upaddava sabbete dunnimitta sabbete avamangala vinassantu Ayu vaddhako, dhana vaddhako, siri vaddhako, yasa vaddhako, bala vaddhako, vanna vaddhako, sukha vaddhako hotu sabbada. Dukkha roga bhaya vera soka sabbe upaddava. Aneka antarayapi vinassantu ca tejasa. Jaya siddhi dhanang labhang sotti bhagyang sukhang balang Siriyayuca vanno ca bhogang buddhi ca yasava Satavassa ca ayuca jiva siddhi bhavantu te Devu vassatu kalena sassa sampatti hetuca Pito bhavatu loko ca raja bhavatu dhammiko Akasattha ca bhummattha deva naga mahiddhika Punyantang anumoditva cirang rakhantu loka sasanang Akasattha ca bhummattha deva naga mahiddhika Punyantang anumoditva cirang rakhantu Dhammadesanam Akasattha ca bhummattha deva naga mahiddhika Punyantang anumoditva cirang rakhantu mang paranti sadhu sadhu sadhu. So may the chantings be conducive for your well-being. May the blessing of the Buddha embodied in the sutta be conducive for your well-being and happiness. May you and your loved ones stay blessed with good health throughout. And may all your righteous aspirations also be fulfilled. We'd also like to bless our sponsors today, Mr. and Mrs. Somaratna and daughter Chaitya, and especially Chaitya, who is embarking on her secondary education this September. May she be blessed with good health and happiness. May she have all the energy and courage to continue and excel in education, and may she have a very bright future, and may the sponsors also be blessed with good health and happiness throughout. So with such intention, we say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So if you have just joined us, we go live every day at 6:30 with our evening worship and chanting, and at this time we do short meditation, and then which is followed by a short continued Dhamma reflection. So if please adjust yourself if necessary. If not, simply close your eyes and stay still for a few minutes. Just observe. Make sure your back is straight, eyes closed. So once you have determined your posture, take a few moments to observe your sitting posture. You can take the opportunity to observe the stillness. The body is not moving. It's not like at other times when you're active. Still moment. Sometimes we may never have been aware of this stillness in our body. To continue to observe that stillness, now go in detail such as scanning the body to see how your body is posed from head to toe. So balanced head, upright body, hands to yourself or right hand on your left palm. Since you are sitting, your body is bent at the hips, or if you're sitting on a chair, at your knees as well. It's a well composed moment. Now observe the mind. It is still as well. It's not looking for things or to entertain oneself. At the time when you are still, you feel bored, so you start looking for things to keep you occupied. But now you are alert, attentive, and taking that moment to stay focused. Even not allow your mind to wander. Learning how to give away everything dedicating yourself few minutes for your own personal well-being, that itself stills the mind. If you are familiar with Metta Sutta, it talks about Santindriya, which means calm senses, is a requirement. A requirement for Metta Bhavana. So once you're calm, that means you're not looking to entertain. When we look to entertain or seek things, we are filling our desires, or we are driven by our emotions and desires. So nothing is there at this moment. So to remind ourselves, metta means loving kindness, friendship, well-being thinking, benevolent attitude, well-wishing. It's not a selfish thinking, it is altruistic, can develop into compassion, and also develop to joy. So where there is metta or loving kindness, self-centered thinking reduces, because there is no judgment. Where there is no judgment, there is happiness. No judgment even in people, in things, in experiences. Where there is judgment, it is always imposing your own beliefs, views, your conclusive ideas, and developing that into a personality. So when we develop metta, we learn how to be free, because we don't change the nature because of something. You don't care for someone in a contractual way. You don't love someone 50% either. You don't care for someone in expectation. We learn how to free ourselves from that care or selfish thinking. Free ourselves so we don't expect anything. And when you don't expect anything, it doesn't hurt you. There is no dissatisfaction in metta. There is patience. There is no jealousy. There is no ill will. Because when we expect something, we demand something in return. Where there is metta, there is only giving. That is why a parent's love is highlighted by the Buddha as much as a mother, a parent loves their only child. So should someone develop metta. It's unconditional. Metta therefore transcends everything, identities, religion, gender, nationality, ethnicity, even species. So it's unconditional love, caring. So when we begin to think in this way, we develop a different attitude which is free and leads to happiness. It doesn't cost you, but you have to develop mindfulness at challenging times, learning how to accept each other, learning how to be kind to each other, and train yourself to transform and be that source of happiness for everyone. That is metta. We transform our way of talking, we transform our way of listening, we transform our way of interacting with people, and most importantly, our thinking, so that we get rid of prejudices, we get rid of judgments. So follow these lines as a guide for that well-being thinking, which is completely altruistic, it's not a selfish one, and it's universal. But you begin with yourself, so you can understand what true love is. May I be well, happy and peaceful. May I be blessed with good health. May no harm come to me. May no problems come to me. May no difficulties come to me. May I always meet with success. May I also have the patience, courage and determination to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May I be free from pain and suffering. Now bring few of your relatives or close family or friends. Could be your parents, grandparents, your uncles, aunts, if you have brothers and sisters, or husband, wife or partner, your in-laws, children or grandchildren, close friends, and also could be your colleagues at work or neighbors. Some to your thoughts, whoever comes to your thought, without judgment, think of their well-being. May they all be well, happy and peaceful. May they all be blessed with good health. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they always meet with success. May they also have the patience, courage and determination to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May they be free from pain and suffering. May all living beings, including all sentient beings, pets, birds and animals that come to your garden, may they all be well, happy and peaceful. May they be free from pain and suffering. May I be well, happy and peaceful. May I be free from pain and suffering. Sadhu, sadhu. So to finish our program, we continue with our short reflection for a few minutes. And as we have been discussing for the past few days, just to recap, because the rains retreat began in the full moon day of July, and it is that full moon day Asala, where the Buddha delivered his first sermon. And so we began to reflect on analyzing or just taking small sections of the sutta to develop our knowledge in the Dhamma. So we began with how the Buddha emphasized that we have to avoid two extremes, the pursuit of sensual pleasures or for happiness, sensual pleasures, and even the opposite, sometimes to seek happiness through, in future perhaps, to engage in practices that are quite harmful or even self-mortification. So both are fruitless, and the Buddha advised the 5 ascetics or the 5 renouncers or pabbajittas. Although the Buddha does use the word bhikkhu, panchavaggi bhikkhu amantesi, to address them as bhikkhus, so who have already renounced the household life. So for them it is to take the middle path or the Majjhima Patipada, middle way. And since that is the Eightfold Path, the Buddha then establishes or talks and discusses the 4 Noble Truths. And so far we discussed the first Noble Truth, and yesterday we briefly discussed the 2nd Noble Truth, which is the craving. And just to remind, if you weren't here, craving is simply explained as tanha. Tanha is like thirst, when you are thirsty, and if it is not quenching. The nature of tanha is like that as well. It is continuously looking for things. Okay, so looking for things. It's never thirsty, so never quench or never enough attitude. And when that is the case, obviously, we continue to look for pleasure or sensual pleasure. So one of the examples is kama tanha, craving for sensual pleasures, which once gained, it leads to renewed existence, pono bhavika, and then tatra tatra vinandini, seeks delight here and there. So yesterday, if you don't have delight in A, we look it for from B or from C. So sometimes you can actually put that into the moment of when you're bored, we continue to look for entertainment. And therefore, even the pleasure or sensual pleasure that we look for, we continue to look through our senses, and therefore kama tanha. And when once you perhaps have that, or once you actually achieve something, perhaps we sometimes develop bhavatanha, which is craving for the continuity or craving for the other existence. And there are times when we crave for non-existence. You might not desire or like to be in a position, so you might want to free yourself from that itself. So craving for non-existence, or not to be in a particular situation. So briefly, let us go through the third Noble Truth. And this is quite obviously only the enlightened ones can explain clearly what it is, but to go through the few explanation of Nibbana is what I intend to do. And they are again with the language being used, and one of the language is linked to the same word tanha. So there are in other places the definition is tanhakkayo nibbana. Kaya means to remove or to get rid of. So where there is no greed, no craving, that is nibbana. Again, the word nibbana sometimes is translated as no greed or absence of greed. So it is in the language that we try to understand in the opposite sense. So we know what it is to have craving. Where there is an absence of it, there is complete freedom. So you might desire for something really, and you might even you might lose your sleep, or every moment you are thinking about it. But the moment you actually free yourself from that desire, there is so much peace. There is so much So upasama, so there is that calming of that need or the sense. So therefore, even in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the Buddha talks about the cessation of suffering in what type? In that same craving where there is the fading away or remainderless fading away, there is nothing left from that craving. Every bit of the craving, completely, not necessarily disgust, because sometimes when you think of the word disgust, it is out of sort of dislike. So we are not talking of the result of dislike or disengagement. We are talking of the removal of the craving in a full sense. So asesa viraga nirodho, chago, patinissaggo, mutti, analayo. These are the words used by the Buddha. So let's just quickly go through this, and we can look into those in future more. So giving up. So chago, so the cessation of this craving, the giving up. So giving up means completely not planning to return or into that. You completely get rid of that greed. And where there is the absence of that greed, there is that nibbana or the happiness or the absence of suffering. So remember, in the last few sessions we spoke about what is suffering, and especially with the 7th and the 8th example of suffering given by the Buddha, it is the conditioned moment of a particular experience, and when you cling to that particular experience, that is suffering. So when you free yourself from there, then there is no suffering. So patinissaggo, relinquishing of it or renouncing of it, you are completely mutti, free. You are free from that craving, you are free from the desire, and sometimes anala, you are not relying on it. It's not you don't your existence doesn't rely on it. If you look into the few other areas when it comes into those who have attained, it is completely that extinguishing of that desire or the extinguishing. So therefore, even in the sutta that we chanted, the Ratana Sutta, Nibbanti Dhira Yatha Padipo, so the flame, when you extinguish the flame, the craving, you cannot ask where that flame went. Similarly, you cannot talk of the existence of that as well, because if there is karma, then we tend to obviously look for, obviously we know that there will be results, but where there is no craving, there will be no reason for karma to arise either, and therefore that is the type, and in some places, lastly to talk about is to think about the word ajata and asankhata. Okay, so yesterday or day we were talking about the word sankhata, dukkha. Any suffering, most of the time that we experience is the ones that we create for ourselves. Examples of illness only becomes a point of suffering when we go through it, death when we go through it. Whereas sankhata dukkha is almost experienced all the time when we have dislikes, when our expectations are not fulfilled. So asankhata is another way the Buddha has explained in some places that nibbana is a stage of unconditioned, is a stage of unborn. So unborn or we are not into a new form. We do not actually be different. So whereas the craving yesterday we looked at it is the reason for renewed existence. So if there is no craving, then there will be no renewed existence as well. So therefore that absence of greed itself is nibbana. So that is the noble truth of third noble truth, and simply put it, we can take the binary context again as a summary. If there is a hill, there is a slope. If there is greed, there is suffering. If there is no greed, there is no suffering. So simple as that. It's a state of non-suffering. So thank you for joining us, our puja today, and we come to the close of this broadcast with that short reflection. to do punya and modana, we take this moment of reflecting and recalling all the good deeds that we have done today, worshipping the Buddha, observing precepts, listening to the chanting and blessing your loved ones, and also doing metta bhavana, becoming that source of happiness, and reminding ourselves the Dhamma that the Buddha taught, and may all merit accumulated be conducive for the well-being of you, your loved ones. If they have passed away, let us bless them. May they receive our blessings and make their sansaric life happy and peaceful. And today we are also dedicating this puja to Mr. Diamond Somratna, beloved father of our sponsor, Mr. Padmadev Somratna. Beloved father passed away about 32 years ago. May he receive our blessings, may he rejoice in this punya karma and make his sansaric life happy and peaceful, and eventually may he attain the blissful state of Nibbana through his righteous aspirated path. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May all merit accumulated also be a source of blessing for our sponsors, and also especially for their daughter Chaitya, who is going into her secondary education this September. May all merit be conducive for her success, for the happiness and good health of all the family members. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So we will see you again tomorrow at 6:30. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Stay safe. Take care. Have a very good evening and good night. Okay, everyone, see you tomorrow. Bye bye.